All right. Welcome back to the BFR podcast presented by Sports Mockery. My name's Dave. I'm joined by my co-host, Ficky. You can follow me on Twitter at Dave_BFR. You can check out all my work on sportsmockery.com as well. Articles every week. Ficky, you can follow him on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at It's Ficky Baby. We have Bears versus Broncos, battle of the,
mid-off.
Yeah, mid-off. I don't even know if that's probably,
that's probably giving us too much.
Too good. 0-4 teams, Bears and Broncos are going head-to-head this week. One of us are going to get a win. We'll talk about that more. We also have a great guest, Dr. Michael Reicher. He is Justin Fields' trainer, also helps train Darnell Mooney, Eddie Jackson, as far as just helping them out, kind of get through a full season. So we're going to talk with him, kind of understand what it's like, how Justin Fields is feeling right now, being 0-3. It's a tough start, and how they prepared for this season. Did they talk about, hey, what if we start off rough? What if it's 0-3? What kind of mental strengths, or techniques is he going through? Everything like that. It's going to be a really fun conversation. We'll bring him here in a second. And of course, we will recap or preview the Bears versus Broncos. We'll go over and unders, bold predictions, everything like that. But Ficky, man, I know it's been a long week, obviously 0-3. Are you feeling a little better? How you doing, man?
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny, cause I started this one off, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm actually pretty good. I've been having that short-term memory. I almost feel like what you have to do as an athlete. You just have to be like, all right, that's done, on to the next one, which is kind of I think just Bears fans as a whole. Cause realistically, if you were to hold on to all of this for the past 20 years, you wouldn't keep coming back. Right. So, well, unless some of us are mentally ill, which also could be the case, but yeah, I'm in a much better headspace, but I'm in a weird one of I don't know how I want the season to go. You know what I mean? It's do we go full, let's just not make this good. Let's get to the inevitable. Let's start over next year. Right. Let's, that path, or do I want to be how I was from the start, where it's realistically, I didn't have us winning 10 games. We could still get 6 games. We could still get 6 games out here. The problem with our losses aren't necessarily that they were losses, but that they were just ugly. It's not good on either side. And I still think we can kind of get to that. So I'm holding hope. That's why I'm okay today, that maybe, it's a long season. We can get some of those games where we're okay, yeah. We know what this team is. This is what we expected. So, but what about you? Where are you at?
Yeah, I feel a lot more optimistic heading into this Broncos matchup. I mean, it's about time we have an opponent that's below average. I would say, Green Bay might be average. Tampa is probably average. And then, the Chiefs are Super Bowl, bubble team, or even, favorites. So for me, it's Broncos, they're 0-3 as well. We're 0-3. If we're going to get, this is a get right game for both teams probably. So it's probably going to be 30s, hopefully high 30s, as far as, our defensives go. This can be tough. So hopefully both teams are putting up a lot of points, and we need that. So even though Justin is going up against bad defense, we saw Mitch Trubisky, we saw him beat up on these type of defenses, that he went up against when he was here in Chicago. So can Justin do the same? That's the biggest thing here for me is even though, it's going to be labeled, hey, he's going up against a bad defense. Let's hold until he does it against, another team, maybe Washington Commanders or something like that the following week on Thursday. But it's first of all, he has to handle his business, you have to score points against the Broncos.
Yeah.
A team that just got 70 dropped on them, 70 burger.
Yeah, come on.
And if you go in there and you drop 10, 14 points again, and it's garbage time points, I mean, then you have a real problem. And so for me, it's I'm holding – obviously 0-3. It was a terrible game in Kansas City. I was there. That's probably why it probably hurt a little bit more. But now I'm kind of back down to earth. Still don't have a lot of optimism, but I'm if it's going to take off, or if they're going to turn the corner, it has to be this week at home against a team that is struggling. And yeah, sure, they probably want to come out fired up, probably pissed off, getting 70 dropped on them, but they could also be in the dumpster as far as morale and everything. So if you can step on their throats early, which the Bears rarely do, I mean, you might have a chance here to finally kind of turn the tide. I'm not saying, playoff or, contending for the NFC North, but you could very well at least save Justin Fields and maybe give him another chance here to finish, the year strong, or at least kind of get something jump started,
Yeah.
So I feel more optimistic, man. I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel that. It's this game could easily be a turning point for two ways. This is either you're fired game for a lot of people, Like for real, you lose at Soldier Field
Yeah.
against a team that just lost, seven. I mean, we gave up 40 to the Chiefs, but you just gave up 70 points and you can't, stay competitive, right?
Yeah.
You're probably like Flus, you're done. Like you may not get fired now, but that is for sure sealed the deal. You are not back next year. So, and then also kind of in the same, maybe that closes the door on Justin too. Hopefully not, but like, if like you said, you come out and you only get 10 points or something, 14 points, it's in garbage. Like it's not competitive drives, right? Like actually impressive drives. Flus, Getsy, Fields all together. This could be it. So hopefully we don't see that. I think even though the number one pick would be kind of cool, I still like Fields. Like at the end of the day, I want him to be our quarterback because what's better than, if Fields is our quarterback, that also means we have two other picks that don't have to go to quarterback. You know what I mean? So it's like it sweetens the deal. Not only do you have your piece, but you don't have to use one of your high value picks on a quarterback and start this cycle all over again. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully it's got to be exciting. Like, come on, bro. Our team gave up 50. They gave up 70. Someone's going to score, right?
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Like it's going to be fun. But we'll table that. We're going to get to that here in a second. We do have Dr. Risher. He is here. So we're going to go bring him in. All right. So can you hear us, Dr. Risher?
Yeah. How's it going? Is my audio all right?
Yeah. Fantastic.
Sound good, man. Sound good. So you want me to call you Michael? Do you prefer the doctor? How do you feel?
Honestly, it's whatever rolls off the tongue for you. A lot of people just call me Doc. So that's pretty typical.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll probably stick with that. We appreciate you taking the time just to speak with us. I know you're busy, middle of the season, but we're excited, man. So first of all, I want to know about your practice, kind of what got you into this. You're in Chicago, you're based there. You and your wife are kind of taking this thing head on. You started in 2020 COVID year. So it started off kind of rocky, I assume. So tell us a little bit about that. And obviously, are you a Chicago Bears fan? How does it all work?
Yeah. So I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, went to Fremd High School, actually claim to fame, played against Jimmy Garoppolo in high school and beat him 21-20. So lifetime undefeated against NFL players. Played against like probably 3 or 4, CJ Fedorowicz, who else? Eric Saubert and one other guy. So lifetime undefeated against NFL players. Small claim to fame there in the Chicagoland area. But yeah, I actually broke my back when I was in 7th grade, and I was seeing a chiropractor the entire time. Dumb me and my parents should have gotten X-rays right on. As soon as I had back pain, should have gotten X-rays. But chiropractor would go see him and was totally good for another week. Was playing defensive end and running back, so got beat up a ton. Finally got the X-rays at the end of the season, and I was like, wow, this chiropractor was able to keep me playing football, even with all this stuff going on. So I was kind of wowed by what he was able to do for me. And then since then was really interested in the sports performance and the chiropractic and physical therapy, and then just kind of combined it all. Worked up at Highland Park as a sports performance trainer for a little bit, got that under the belt, and then decided to go to chiropractic school. And then, me and my wife ended up in Chicago. She's from California. I don't know how she let me get her to Chicago. But yeah, so we opened up and I did grow up a Bears fan. No college allegiance.
Sorry to hear that.
But yeah, no college allegiance. It was, not a Northwestern or U of I or whatever. So, but Bears were definitely the team. And then started my practice January 1st of 2020. Thought it was an awesome year. Like, 2020 is our year. Going to start this practice. And actually, COVID ended up being the biggest blessing. I really have no explanation for kind of where we're at, except for God just started putting people in my life. Like DMs were answered. Everything shut down. And so I had to send out DMs, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to shoot my shot, I might as well just start messaging professional athletes. And I mean, the number of guys that actually responded is ridiculous. But COVID year, I started working with 2 different guys, Demetrius Harris and David Montgomery. They were doing their throwing sessions. And so I was snapping to Mitch Trubisky 3 days a week. Someone tweaks something, there's no trainers there. It's like, oh, hey, let me work on you. We can get that fixed in a day or 2. So started getting the ball rolling there, and then the referrals came like crazy, and ended up building up the practice. And there's 3 docs that we have right now: me, my wife Kristen, and then Dr. JJ, who just joined us in May. And then we just actually had our first intern start this week. So practice is going well. We also have a practice in Tempe, Arizona, and Green Bay, Wisconsin. So opened both of those up in the past 2 years. So yeah, things are going real well. We're having a blast just doing the sports chiropractic, rehab, training, all that stuff.
That's awesome. So is there like you said you brought on an intern, and then Bobby or JJ, is there like, do they have to be a Bears fan, or is that kind of just out the window?
No, it's kind of out the window. So the guy in Arizona is a Niners fan. The guy in Green Bay is a Bears fan. JJ's a Packers fan, actually. So, we're really keep the loyalties like I want the Bears to win. I want the Bears to have as much success as possible. But at the end of the day, like, I really just want the patient that we're dealing with to be out of pain, to stay out of pain. And so it doesn't matter if I've worked with, players across the league, bunch of different teams. And at the end of the day, it's like, I can cheer for individual player success. I still hope the Packers always lose and the Bears always win, but I can still cheer for like an individual player success if I've worked with them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So
I was about to say, wait a second. I feel like I feel like if I was in that position, like, because it's football, we know it's a violent sport. So to alleviate that, such like the pain that they deal with, I just don't know how you like. I feel like I'd view you as a god, like, because the pain I felt just in like high school football, which is nothing compared to the NFL. And anything that I could do to be like, wow, I feel great. Like, I was like, I'd give all my money to. So like, how is that relationship? Like, I feel like they have to just love you. Not, I mean, I'm sure they love you as a person too, but like, just like the first time you made something go away, the smile on their face. Like, how was that experience?
Yeah, it's really cool because I mean, I'm a sports fan. I've done a ton of film analysis, being a football player, I've watched thousands of hours of football film. So like, the best part is when you walk in and you're like, hey, I saw this play and looks like you injured this, or, you're doing this on this route, or you're doing this on this throw. This is what I'm seeing physically. Is that what you're feeling? And so like, just from the get-go, because I know the sport, I can tell them already what's going on, what I saw. And, now we're 10 steps ahead of where we would be if I didn't know the sport as well. So that's really the coolest part, where it's like, you bring them down the list of what you saw and they're like, yeah, that checks out. And then you get into the physical exam and they're like, wow, yep, you nailed it just on the film analysis. And then, I'm trying to stay away from the term perfectionist, but I have a very high standard of success. And so every time I go into a treatment, it's like, we can get this guy 100%. Even if I know it's impossible, it's like, we can get this guy 100% in this one visit. And kind of going in with that mindset, we're able to see massive, massive jumps. And when someone gets off of the table and they have a noticeable difference in their body, all of a sudden the buy-in is super high. And because they're bought into what we're doing, they're going to keep on the treatment plan. They're going to do the right stuff on their own. They're going to go into the facility, stay on top of things, do extra on top of what the training staff gives them. And so the results that we get kind of compile and compound to where, once we get that buy-in, we can get things better so much faster. I like to say for a lot of these injuries, there's typical research timelines, and we're typically operating a week to 2 weeks ahead of what those timelines are. So, anytime someone says, oh yeah, they're out for X number of weeks, to me, that's a challenge. It's not like, oh yeah, that's the injury. It's like, okay, you're out for 4 weeks. Can we have you feeling 100% in 3 weeks? And then if you want to play, or if the team feels you're comfortable with you playing, that's a call that you guys make. But I want you to feel like you could play in that 3 weeks, like a week to 2 weeks faster than they say.
So you mentioned something about, you see the play. So are you watching live, or do you kind of like after the, get an all 22 or some sort of, like, how are you taking in that information and how quickly?
Yeah, so I'll watch all the games live. I actually missed the KC game because I had to take my wife on a little vacation. Had to take her out,
anything. So you didn't miss anything, trust me. So you're good.
I was following the game cast, but I was like, shoot, this is this is an ugly one. But so I
was there.
Yeah, Dave was there. He was dumb enough to buy tickets and go. So
yeah, it was tough.
For most of the home games, I'll get to most of the home games. We have our daughter now, so it's going to be a little more tricky, but we'll get to most of the home games. I'm watching my guys on the field, or I'm watching them, on the live broadcast. And then oftentimes, if I need to, I'll go back and watch the all 22 if I haven't already picked out what's going on. Or you get the quick game recap. If I just care about watching, Justin, I can do all of Justin's dropbacks. Someone's made that video somewhere. You can do Darnell Mooney highlights. You can
Dave
search.
Probably has.
Exactly. And if there's a specific play I'm searching for because I know that someone got banged up on that play, or I noticed something different, I can search for specific plays. And then if not, I'll go back and watch the all 22. There's just so many guys that at this point I've worked with, 30 to 50 guys across the league, and we've got probably 20 guys on the Bears that we're working with in that range. And so it's like you can't watch everybody on every single play. It would just take forever. So we go back and I kind of pick out plays, or if someone's got an issue, it's like, oh, how did that affect them? If they went into the medical tent, they came out, what were they favoring? That sort of a thing.
That's half the team. That's impressive.
It's a lot of guys at this point. Started out, and every year we got to refresh. Free agents go somewhere else, and we got to refresh with new guys. And the vets come in, and instantly when a vet gets into town, they're looking for extra treatment outside of the facility because guys just don't want to spend all day there.
Right. I'm curious how many players you kind of working with during the season? Is it?
It kind of varies week to week. So some weeks,
okay,
players are getting a lot of treatment at the facility. Maybe I don't get my hands on them because we don't want to overload them. This week, maybe I personally am working with 8 guys. Throughout the course of the season, it's 20 to 30, depending on new guys getting brought in. And then across the league, I'll have players DM me. I had a guy in the Giants message me the other day, gave him a couple rehab exercises, just generally like, hey, here's what I would do. So across the league, I think I've worked with, I lose track, probably close to 50 active players. I don't work with them all every week. We're probably in like the 8 to 20 range as a clinic every week.
Wow. Staying busy. That's awesome. Yeah. So I want to go ahead and talk about Justin real quick. Obviously, all eyes are on him right now. Chicago Bears quarterback, you're always going to have that. You had I love the tweet. First of all, definitely, if you're not following, Doc here, make sure to check out his Twitter. I think it's just Dr. Risher. Is that right? Yep. On Twitter. You had one here that Hub, he tweeted, just visited with Justin Fields. He's a defeated young man. It was very definitive. It was a strong, tweet. And you said, defeated ? Get out of here with that nonsense. So first of all, I love the tweet. I kind of see it too. Obviously, Justin's down. It's not fun being 0-3. It's been a hell of a 3 weeks. Just got beat by the champs, by what, 40, 30 points. Mm-hmm. So for me, you work with him during the offseason. It's a lot about his body. Can you kind of tell us, is his spirits in, is he in good spirits? And have you guys kind of talked about mentally what he can do to kind of stay focused and kind of all the noise that's going on in the city throughout the NFL, just kind of blocking that out? What kind of techniques and, how's he doing?
Yeah. So with all my players, really, we talk about getting into that flow state, and the flow state, so much of it is dependent on being focused in the extreme present, like the very now. And so that's kind of a lot of what we talk about. As far as Justin specifically goes, he knows that there's a ton of outside voices. He knows that there's a ton of people, giving him XYZ. I try not to input too much, mostly, just encouragement. He knows how good of a player he is personally. There's no lack of confidence in who he is. And because he's such an extreme competitor, you're never going to see him just truly defeated. There may be a ton of frustration. He may see things, that might not get fixed right now, but you're never going to get him going into a week, going into a game where he's just defeated. He doesn't think that he can come out and win. There's not a single game that you'll talk to him before where he doesn't think that their team can go in and win that game. So I think, any competitor would be frustrated at 0-3, especially with how things have gone, like how this 0-3 is. But I don't look at him or talk to him and see, oh yeah, this guy's just defeated. And, defeated to me would mean, season's done. Everyone's checked out. And I'm not getting that from everyone. Across the board, it's like, no, we're winning this week. Like, we have no choice. This week has to be a win. This week will be a win. And across the board, not just Justin, but across the board, like that's just the mentality, is like, we don't have any choice but to win this week. We are going to win this week. And so as soon as you look at someone and say they're defeated, you're instantly calling out the competitor in them. And as far as I'm concerned, Justin's one of the most competitive people I've ever met. And I've worked with a lot of competitors, and he's, ranks amongst the top. So I thought that was something that it's, people look for clicks, and defeated is definitely going to get you more clicks than frustrated. But it's definitely, a frustration. It's a frustration with how the team's done. It's a frustration with how he's played. It's a frustration with, penalty. There's so many different facets that are out of your control, that, like, if you just go in and you're the competitor that you're going to be, you're never going to be defeated. That's a mindset that I just don't think he has.
Yeah, and I think you marked it there. It's like the usage of words that he used there, like defeated versus frustrated. And as a human, who wouldn't be frustrated? I'm a fan. I never step on the field. They don't know who I am. I'm frustrated. How do you think it feels to be the face of the franchise? Of course he should be frustrated with everything that's going on. And if you are a true competitor, you would be more frustrated because you care that much. So exactly. I think me and Dave were kind of aligned with you. Obviously, we don't have as much information as you do, but we're like, duh. Like, if he's smiling, that's even worse, So how do you expect him to be? We're 0-3, and it hasn't been a clean, like a pretty 0-3. So I think, just trying to get clicks and things like that.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, it's got to be old too. Just like, it's been 3 weeks in a row of tough losses. You're getting the same questions. You're getting up there every time. It gets redundant after a while. So hopefully they're back on track, Broncos. I'm hoping for a win. I think this is the one where they can
let's
get
drop
right.
another 7. Let's drop 70 on them again. Let's just,
exactly.
let's go back to back.
I'll go crazy.
Exactly.
Might as well, right?
That's awesome. So, Doc, we'll get you out of here very soon. We have just a couple more questions. First of all, Mooney, you worked with him in the offseason. Obviously slow start just for the offense in general. Mooney, what was it like working with him? How was he during rehab? Obviously we know he was focused and he's back and he looks great as far as the speed go, but how was to see him as just like a competitor, and just, what's the difference between just maybe like an average person and then maybe like a competitor like Mooney and Fields, how they attack these things such as injuries?
Yeah. So Mooney specifically he's someone that you have to hold back. There are times where in the rehab process you can overdo it, and that's actually not good. It's not always more is better. You can't just put in 5 to 10 hours of rehab a day and think that that's going to be productive. And so Mooney's the type of person where you actually have to tell him when to stop. He's not going to just stop because, the workout's done. He's going to go try to put extra effort in. So that was really cool to see him push himself to the very limit of what he was allowed to do, and then have to mentally be okay with stopping there. The other really cool thing, and I think this is the most rare part, is a lot of people are hesitant coming off of injury, and first step back on your foot, you're hesitant. Maybe you have a limp because it's just subconscious. And with him, it was something where it's like, okay, you have to do the movement for the first time again, but once you do that and it's pain-free and it's strong, it's 100% effort. It's no babying. It's no holding back. It was like, mentally, that's a very hard place to get to, where, oh, okay, I don't have to be afraid of this. As soon as you tell me I'm good, I just do it. And there's no easing into it. It's like, all right, I'm clear to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to baby myself and think that I'm still damaged. As soon as I am told that I'm allowed to do something, I'm going to go 100% in it. And I cannot reiterate how rare that is mentally, the mental toughness and the mental fortitude to be able to do that. All right, I'm cleared to run this route. I'm going to run this route 100%, and I'm not going to be afraid that anything's going to give out on me. And that was, really cool to see. I knew he had that, but this was a place where, you actually got to see that displayed.
Wow.
And do you think, I had a question about that, that mental hurdle, right? Because you see that, especially Achilles, people coming back and stuff like that. Do you think that leads to people, when you see some players in the NFL and they're just injury prone, do you think that ties into that?
I definitely think it can. I mean, whenever you're not playing 100% on a play, you're going to be more injury prone. You see these guys going 100%, head-on collision, and then they, get up and they're totally fine. And where typically I see the injuries with players and with, just general recreational athletes is when someone decides to ease up. It's like, okay, there's this collision that's going to happen and I'm going to ease up. And then all of a sudden one person's putting way more force in than the other person. And, you're not quite ready for the collision. You're not quite ready for that force. So I think that definitely can happen if you're babying something. That might not be more necessarily like injury prone, but I think you can definitely open yourself up to other things if you're not just, ready to go back and go 100%.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I love it. So 2 more questions. One, obviously Eddie Jackson, he was injured a game or 2 ago, Ficky, right? I think it was last game.
He got injured week
2.
1. Yeah, week 2. Yeah.
Week 2. Anyways, he's kind of banged up. He's not going to IR. Obviously you can't disclose everything. Any kind of, is he doing okay? Obviously spirits wise, and have you seen him or what's going on with Bojack?
Yeah. So again, another ultra competitor where you get someone that is held back and they want to push themselves. And so you have to hold back any sort of rehab process. There are a bunch of fierce competitors on this team, and Eddie is one of them. He's doing great mentally. He's real close physically. I don't know anything, about this week or next week or whatever, but I do know that, he's really close, and mentally he's just like wants to be there right now. Like he's again, if you're not frustrated that you're not on the field, like you see your team going through this and you're like itching to get back out there because you can make an impact. And that's exactly where he is. So he's when he gets back, whether it's I don't know which game it's going to be for. But he's going to go out there and he's going to be itching to make an immediate impact.
Yeah, it was tough to see him go out. He's one of my favorite players. That he's one of the final people from that 2018 team. So always going to kind of hold that special place in our hearts. But last question, Doug. This is the easiest one. You're a Bears fan. You grew up a Bears fan. Who is your all-time favorite Chicago Bears player and why?
Devin Hester. Easiest question. Not even. He was my Facebook profile picture back when I was doing like that. I have watched every single highlight that he has more times than I can count. And so I played running back growing up and did some kick returns, did some punt returns, and just saw what he did with the ball in his hands. And it was like, every time I think this is typical of my favorite players. It's like every time they touch the ball or every time they're on the field, you think, oh man, we're about to win, or oh man, we're about to score. Like there's a difference between a guy getting the ball in their hand and you're being like, you really, yeah, okay, he got the first down, but like I'm a little nervous, the ball in his hand, or like, okay, he's a fine player, but like every time the ball touches your hands and you're a threat to score, every time the ball touches your hands and you're the only person on the team that people care about. To me, that's special. And I absolutely love Devin Hester. Got to work out with him a couple times back when I was younger, got to meet him in person, like super nice guy, awesome work ethic, and just like the freakiest of athletes. So huge Devin Hester fan.
Yeah, that's been our number one answer. Like most people have said that, but no one has said it as fast as you. That was like immediate, but it's the right answer. Yeah, it's the right answer.
Leading up to that, it was like, I was ready to rip that off. I have a handful of other favorites. Israel Adonijah actually pretty high for me.
71 back in the day. Yeah,
he was my first Bears jersey. Saw him running down on kickoff against the Jaguars one time, and I was like, man, that is scary. I don't know if football's for me. Like that's insane. Khalil Mack, Matt Forte, those are all guys that I loved growing up.
Forte.
Forte.
Yeah, Forte's a go-to. Yeah, Forte was great.
And such an awesome guy. Again, I had the privilege of meeting a bunch of these guys when I was younger. Forte's such an awesome guy. And like when you meet people and I'll relate this back to the current Bears team. Oh, hang on. You guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Yeah.
When you meet people and it's like you're the superstar on the field, but off the field, like you're an unbelievably nice guy. You'll talk to anyone. You'll have a conversation. You're not above anyone. Like that's the type of person that like you really want to look up to. And I will say that this Bears team right now has so many guys that are just genuinely really good people. Like there's no one that I'm working with that I'm like, I got to help you because you're a client, but I don't want to go work. Like every single one of these guys is a genuinely really great person. Really great to talk to. Ask me how's the family doing? How's the wife? How's the kid? Like remembers things about. It's not just all about them. It's like they're really invested in me as a person as well. Now I think that's a really cool culture that's here just amongst these guys.
That's great to hear. I feel like that's what we kind of feel about that. And I mean, we're kind of, as fans, we're upset because they're not doing well, but I don't think there's really I don't think we're known to have like divas, you would say, so hopefully they start winning games and it merges back together and everything.
Absolutely. That's what we're all hoping and cheering for.
Absolutely. If they keep coming to you and they stay healthy, that's going to help, because if they can't play, we're definitely not going to win games. So
the best ability is availability. The best
Absolutely.
ability is availability. That's what I always say.
We appreciate your help.
Absolutely.
Well, Doc, hey, we appreciate. We'll let you kind of enjoy your Thursday night football. Good luck to you,
Packers,
man.
Lions.
And, again, thank you so much for all you do. Yeah, Packers,
Absolutely,
Lions,
Doc.
man. NFC North.
Hopefully they both lose.
Yeah, exactly. Can we have it end in a double loss, first ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, guys. All right, thanks a ton for having me. This was a blast to hop on here.
No problem, Doc.
Absolutely,
Thank
Doc.
you.
You take care, man.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you again to Doc, taking his time. Obviously, super busy. We've been wanting to have him on for a minute. So super excited that we can kind of make it happen finally. Super busy guy, super awesome. Again, you can follow him on Twitter at Dr. Risher. Before we hop into, Bears Broncos kind of recap or preview that, if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the pod, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to YouTube if you're enjoying it. We appreciate everyone that's kind of, showed love over the last month or so. Obviously been tough start to the season, but you guys have been great. And we're going to be here every week, no matter what. So might as well join.
We'll be here.
Now Bears Broncos. Again, you said mid-off. I wish it was that good.
Low-off, whatever. Yeah,
it's not.
Well, the scoring might make it like if you didn't watch the NFL and you come look at the scores, you're like, there might be a lot of scoring to where it's like, oh, wow, those look like two competitive teams. If you didn't know how they played the previous 4 weeks before, 3 weeks before.
Yeah. So before we hop into Bears versus Broncos and kind of getting through just the keys of the game, over-unders, bowl predictions, everything like that, there was a interesting quote, from Luke Getsy, and it was by Nicholas Moriano, CHGO. He kind of asked him, he said, against the Steelers on Monday Night Football during Justin Fields' rookie season, he kind of wanted to touch on that with Luke Getsy, he said, is it this? Does he still see the same quarterback who played on that Monday Night Football game? And so I found that interesting just because, there was a clip going around of, his highlights from that game. And he went, during that outing, it was Monday night, he went 17 for 29, 291 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 8 rushes for 45 yards. But it was the way he was throwing. He was throwing almost with anticipation on some of these plays. He was extending them and then making plays as well with his arm, not just his legs. And so it was a very interesting question that I was excited to kind of hear the answer from, because like if you kind of look at him now and based on everything that's kind of happening, you're like, no, absolutely not. Getsy, this is what he said. He said, yeah, Justin has a tremendous amount of confidence. I think it's like you said, there's a lot of moving parts when you're playing on offense. It's 11 as one. And right now we're not clicking all 11 as one. I know it's easy, like I said, to pinpoint it on one person, but it's not. And so we got to make sure that we get out and we got to get to that synchronized a little bit better, and we'll go and get some points. So kind of coach speak here and there. Didn't really 100% answer it, but it's a great question because for me, Ficky, do you see that same quarterback that, in 2021 or do you see regression? Kind of what are some of your thoughts? And I'm going to throw some of these plays up here as well.
Yeah, no, it's hard to say regression when the offense as a whole, like he's kind of right, which is funny because him saying the offense isn't like, all 11 guys aren't playing well is an indictment on him because you're the offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So the guys should be playing well. You should be having them coached up correctly. So that's not an issue. But after watching film again this week, obviously, watching the experts that know what they're talking about, Baldy breakdowns, Dan Orlovsky, JT, QB School, Tim Jenkins, all that stuff, right? All of them kind of agree. There's always something going wrong. Either Fields holds the ball too long, misses a read, right? So there is some Fields blame. O-line gives up, they're not blocking people, missing blocks, or someone just gets beat immediately, right? Not as much as last year, which is great. That's good. This week, what I heard more than compared to last week or previous weeks is wide receivers are literally not open. There were so many plays I saw from different analysts where they're like, no one's open. Who is he supposed to throw it to here? Who is he supposed to throw it to here? Right? Whether that's the wrong routes, right? Or the scheme of how they run the routes and their spacing. You know what I mean? So it's almost just like how I can't even view one person as a regression. It's more like the whole thing is just regressed. So it doesn't matter who you put in there. They all look worse. DJ Moore is on pace to have the lowest statistics, at this rate, of his whole career. He played in Carolina with 5 different mid quarterbacks. So, and I know Fields is the best quarterback he's worked with talent wise. So it's hard to say, is Fields this guy? I think we're all a product of our environment. Fields can still do this stuff. If you took Fields and you put him in an Andy Reid system where he was taught, I promise you, he'd be playing way better. Way better. Would he be Mahomes? No, but would he be playing way better than what he's playing now? So I go back to that's telling me, if I'm hearing this from people who know football, right, that there's multiple things going wrong with this offense, that's coaching. That's coaching. Yeah. Does it mean that people need to play better? Absolutely. I get that. But also, you're the coach. You're supposed to bring out the best of these people. Good coaches get people to play to their highest potential. And right now we're not seeing that. So, you know what I mean? Like if it doesn't get turned around quick, and maybe this is just jumping the gun, I'm more I would actually take the risk where okay, Fields might, if we have number one, it might be hard because Caleb May's there, but because Caleb Williams is there. But if we don't have that, I'm I'd rather stick with Fields and just get someone in here that can coach offense. You know what I mean? Someone who's off, who has a pedigree of it. For example, we see Laz here said, gave us an update. Lions are up over the Packers 24-3. Let's get the offensive coordinator from there, Ben Johnson. Look what he's done.
He's going to be a hot commodity.
So I'm just saying there's a lot of blame to go around. But right now, how I look at it is if Fields has blame, I'll give him 25%. Just because you're a quarterback, there's a lot of weight. But 75% is just everything else with this offense, whatever is involved with it and what's just not working. You know what I mean? Scheme, play calling, injuries, how players are performing. It's just a mess. So hopefully that changes after. I know I just went on a mini rant to your question, but I just can't. Every time I watch the tape, I'm like, bro, what am I watching? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely coaching plays a huge role, more than I think a lot of people know or even think in the league, just because you look at just, some of the best teams, stability. You look at Kyle Shanahan, who it doesn't really matter that they threw away 3 first-round picks, right? They still have Brock Purdy. It's just the coaching, Shanahan and what he does, he's the best play caller in the league. He makes and elevates, his players.
Crazy.
And so Purdy, who knows?
Crazy.
You're telling me if Purdy was here in Chicago?
No.
Not a chance. It's all about your environment and stability is something the Bears just don't have. You look at Nagy. I had a chart here I was going through just the last 4 coaches since Lovey. It was kind of a hot topic. So we have, Matt Eberflus right now. He's 3-17. He has the worst winning percentage ever in the NFL, I believe, and then at least 100% with Chicago Bears. So it's the worst ever. And he's only in his 2nd season. And it could be worse even by the end of this. Yeah. So then you got Matt Nagy, who was 34-31, 523 winning percentage. Yep. Again, that 2018 defense, how much, that played a big role. But he was here for 4 seasons. Then you got John Fox, 14-34, 292 winning percentage. 3 seasons he was here, because the Bears don't can anybody midway through. And then Mark Trestman, he was 13-19, 406 winning percentage. He was here 2 seasons as well. So it's what is going on since Lovey, who is 10-6, and they fired him,
He
let him go.
Never been fired.
That's what I'm saying.
And then 10-6, bro. Crazy.
Mark Trestman at least had an elite offense for that 1 year, right? John Fox.
They put up points. Fox had
exactly.
decent defense. They couldn't score on offense. It was
decent defense. Yep. And then Matt Nagy.
I mean, but then there was games. We beat some good teams. You know what I mean? You got pockets of like, it wasn't consistent, but you had some things in there where you're like, that's fire.
But with Eberflus, there hasn't been really much of anything.
Nothing
good except for
3 wins.
He got us to the first overall pick. You know, that's really all. And I know he's rebuilding and everything, but for Justin, the main question was, do we see that quarterback that was there in 2021 that sparked? I mean, I'm looking at some of these comments from that year. I was going back looking at that game and what fans were saying, and they're like, wow, the Bears got it. They got it right. No matter what, this is going to work. And then there was a comment on the most recent one where they tweeted all those clips talking about, hey, what happened to Fields? This is what it used to be like. And there was a comment that kind of struck me. They said, after that game, and I think it was a Packers fan, actually, at least the Packers logo, he said, after that game, I was afraid of what he was going to become. And I'm like, exactly. The Bears they didn't do their end of the bar. Now, Fields, obviously, he has his flaws. We know that. But it's like, the Bears should have developed this guy. He was the best prospect they ever had, and they failed him. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And so, again,
I mean, it takes two in a relationship, but they did not do their part.
No, absolutely. And there was a comment just right there said, coaching is important, and you can't stress that enough. And so we're going to find out again, Justin, for the Broncos, man, I know a lot's going crazy right now. Your line's beat up. The defensive secondary is completely out, but it's like, if you don't put up points here, then it's like, okay, it's probably on him, and it might be too far gone at this point. If he can't put up points against Denver, man.
Bro,
you have to.
Something's got to happen, bro. Like just both of them. You got to adapt. As like, what we're doing isn't working, so switch it up. We saw you do it last year, so just do it again. Like, you're like, okay, we weren't using Fields correctly, so we switched it up. Well, whatever you're doing right now is not working for everybody, including Fields, like just everyone. So let's figure something else. You have nothing to lose at this point, right? You're fighting for your job, everyone. So like, let's start trying some different stuff. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So enough of that. We finish here about 15 minutes. We'll go ahead and finish up just the preview for the Broncos game. So the Broncos are actually 3.5 favorites now. I don't know if you knew that. The line was 2.5 early in the week. They're 3.5 favorites at home, away. They're playing in Chicago, and they're 3.5 favorites after getting 70 points dumped on them by the Dolphins. So, of course, Bears aren't the Dolphins, obviously, but it's crazy. 3.5 points. That's a crazy spread. Over and under is set at 45.5 points. So we're going to start there, Ficky. Are you taking the over on that, man? You got to.
Yeah, what's that? That's 45, so that's like 22 each. So yeah, I could see over. Someone's breaking 30. Someone's breaking 30. So that's half of it right there. So yeah, I'd probably take the over on that.
I am too, man.
What about you? Yeah.
Someone either one team's putting up 40, or both teams are putting up, 25, 30 points each. So
it's funny. I saw a tweet. I think it was by Robert Schmitz, but it was the Broncos have gave up 7 the first week, 14 the second week, 35 the week after, or maybe it was 14, 35,
and then it was like 140.
So this right, 140, right? But it's just like, these teams are giving up points, and us statistically, I think I talked about it on our post game, but out of the 28 teams that were played, because there's 3 games left, the 2 Monday night and Sunday night football, we were dead last in like almost every statistic from defense. So we're giving up points, right?
Yeah.
And if we're gonna win, we probably have to, if we're giving up a lot, that means we have to score more. So we'll probably have to hit that over on that one.
No, I agree.
Probably the easiest bet.
I would hope so. Like I said, if we don't score points here, then there's going to be an issue. So we're going to start here just with, some keys to the game. First of all, what is your first key just for the Bears to come away with a win here? That's the most important part. Obviously, it's going to be probably the biggest priority. It doesn't matter if they're running the ball for 200 yards, and it doesn't matter. They have to get the win, snap that 13-game winning streak. So what is your first key that you'd like to kind of see the Bears kind of go out there and accomplish, or at least kind of, force their
They have to their first drive. They got to score touchdown.
Okay.
I know it's not a key to the whole game, but the key is let's get
Starting
some
off hot.
momentum. Yeah, let's get some momentum. Let's get him feeling well. Obviously, if you want to break that down, I would say let's get more designated runs early with him, right? Because you can see what they're doing. They're boxing him in. They're not allowing him to get his normal like drop back and roll out like his his improv type of plays. So let's get more designated runs. I think last week in the first half, I think we had one designated QB run or something like that for like 4 yards. So like I want to see more of that, more of that, and then let's just get a good drive to start off so that we can get him. We don't want him to start like if we come out in 3 and out or something like that, doesn't mean he can't recover, but what we've already dealt with, let's make this easy for us. Let's score. I know it's easier said than done, but let's march down the field and let's kind of get him hot, get him confident, get that confidence up, and let him not have to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I think we've said that. I think it was one of my keys last game, and maybe in game 1 against the Packers was coming out strong. And I think we did it one time, which was against the Bucks. Is that right? Scored on our opening drive.
Yeah, Bucks.
And then from there it was downhill. So for me, I was going to go with that one. I'll switch it up. For me, the thing I would like the Bears to do, and I don't think they can even do it. Like I have very little confidence, but third down. Good God, man. I was at the game against KC. I was talking with a couple fans next to me, talking to my uncle, and it's like whenever they get the first and second down, the Bears might be playoff contenders. Like they stop people on first and second down, but when it's third and you have to get pressure and it's a passing situation, good God, man. I think they're like 80, 90 teams against the Bears are an 80, 90% conversion rate against them. It is unbelievably bad because, again, that D-line, they're only rushing 4 because that's Flus, and that's what he wants to stick to.
One sack
and it's Yannick Ngakoue, which awesome, great. But again, he could have had 2 more again against Baker, and that would have helped us out. But Denver only has 4, and we'll get to that in a second. 4 sacks on the year, which is still a lot better than the Bears. But for me, it's like third down. Whether you're getting a sack, just get pressure. Get some creative blitz packages in there. Send some people. You're not getting it. You're not getting home with 4. You're not going to, unless you're playing. I mean, the best shot might be against Denver, who they are, I think, they're 14th, 15th, or I'm sorry, 17th in the league in offensive line as far as pass pro. So they're middle of the pack. So even then, I don't think our D-line, that is the worst in the league, can get ahead on. So you're going to have to send pressure. You're going to have to get creative, some exotic blitzes, and do it a couple times and periodically. Otherwise, you're going to get, I'd hate to say it, but Russ is going to cook, man.
That's that first game with the was it Packers? No, it was the second week. Tampa, where we had them, I think like the first couple drives, we had them in like 3rd and like 11 and 14 and like 9 and every single one of them. First down. I'm like, bro, like it doesn't normally you get to like your confidence. Like, when you get to like 3rd and long, you're like, oh, they're not getting that. Unless it's like a really dynamic offense, you feel like confident. You're like, yeah, you're not going to get that. For us, I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Get to 3rd down, 1st down, 2nd down. It doesn't matter. You're scoring. So again, that's why we're the worst defense in the league. But it's crazy, bro. I agree with you though. I don't have confidence, but if they can get some 3rd down stops, that would be nice.
All right. So second final key to the game that the Bears have to do to win this, Ficky.
Oh, second key. You got to run the ball. Let's make it easier for Fields, right? We were the #1 rushing offense. I know a lot, 1,000 of those yards were because of Fields, and he doesn't necessarily have that now because he's second year, people game plan. But let's run the ball. We have 2 backs that are actually doing very well. Yards per carry, like they are, the EPA and run, they're doing great. They're scoring high, like with Roshan and Khalil. Sorry if you didn't know who I was talking about, but let's run it. Let's keep running the ball. We don't have to. I know it seems like they were trying to overcorrect from last season to be like Fields can pass the ball, right? But you know what helps get big plays?
Yeah.
Running the ball. You know what I mean?
Stick to
Play
it.
action.
Stick to it.
Yeah, when it's working. Or if someone gets Roshan gets a run for 16 yards, keep him in. Or Herbert.
But listen to this, man. This is where we need Tevin Jenkins. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Let me say this and you finish it up. It is crazy to me. The Bears, guess who has the worst? So as far as PFF goes, the worst run blocking team in the league. It is
Is it us?
Chicago.
That's crazy.
41.8. The next second is 48.7. So almost 7 points higher. Now, when it comes to PFF, you take some things with a grain of salt. But when it comes to their blocking, pass blocking, run blocking, O-line, the trenches, I take that. I hold it at a high value because they're very, very good at that grading
they can give you
scale.
at least an overall picture, though. Like, you can look and say they may not get every player exactly right, but you can look and say, okay, you're not run blocking well. So, well, you saw that play, right?
41.8.
There was a play which makes me think scheme, where there was a run, Herbert to the right side off the kind of off the tackle. Claypool's there, right? And I don't even think because how he did it, it makes it seem this is what you're coached on. And I talked about it on the post game where like blocking assignments are like missed, where it's like, why would you go to that player when he's fine and there's one right in your face, right? That makes me think coaching, because you know, like, oh, I got to go left or I got to go right here. So it was like a chip by Claypool. He just he like pushes him, right? Which is a good chip, in essence, pushes him, and then immediately goes to block out here. That man goes then right past the tackle, right past right, which goes down to block in.
I know exactly what play
blows up the play. So I'm like, that's where I then go back to coaching. I'm like, okay, so if he's supposed to chip, what's the you think that's a slow enough chip to stop where you're running it right at the chip? Like, don't you think, is it a chip for then someone else to pick up? And obviously I'm not in the room. I know I'm not a coach and things like that. But when you at least looking at it, you're like, okay, that doesn't seem right. Something's off there. And if Claypool's doing the wrong thing, that then goes back to coaching. He should know that. Yeah. So I think I really just feel like I think what Getsy said was correct, is like synchronization. It's just like there's never one play where you're like, wow, everyone executed, or at least a majority executed what they need to. And that's why we're not seeing, well, as Getsy said, 8 to 7 big plays could have happened. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why we're not seeing that at all. Because it's like when there's the opportunity there, someone's fucking it up. So, but yeah, Tevin is huge. He was our highest graded lineman last year, one of the top guards in grade. Yep. So
even Nate Davis, as much as some people don't like him, and well,
I mean, he double personal stuff. Look, he's human. Like, if you do with the loss
back, even if he's just average, or he regains to where he was last year, that's going to help this team. Last year, though, I want to point out in run blocking for the entire year, where they were number one in the league as far as rushing yards, but PFF, they were 85.9, fifth best in the NFL as far as run blocking. And it's like the drop off. Yeah, it's a small sample size, 3 games. It's been
it is.
It's been terrible. So maybe that kind of. But you're dead last.
Packers are a tough D line, and so are the Bucks. Yeah. So so are the Chris Jones. Like, come on, bro. So these teams are, they do have good D lines, or at least above average. So maybe once we start playing teams like Denver, right? So
I'm excited for this one, man. This is the most excited I can't be that. I was excited about Green Bay, but this Packers one I'm cautiously optimistic. However, I want to get to my final key point here is the turnover game. So I want to read you this stat. The Broncos are winless 0-5 when throwing 2 or more interceptions since the 2021 season. Tied for worst in the league. So they have a winning percentage 0. So if you can get turnovers here, you can win this game.
With who, though? Well, our whole secondary is still out. JJ's not going to play?
He already has one.
Is Tyreek for sure? Because I know he was nicked up. He's full?
He's full. I know last 2 days he's been full. Yep.
JJ's probably won't play. He might be put at questionable, but I don't think he'll play.
Yeah. So Thursday's injury report was DB Josh Blackwell. He did not practice. Travis Homer, he was limited. Eddie Jackson, he did not practice. Jalen Johnson did not practice. Mercedes Lewis did not practice. However, he was the injuries rest.
Yeah.
So he needs the
I mean, he's been in the league for like 12 years. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's fine. Practice. Tyreek Stevenson, he had an illness. That's what he was marked as, but he's full the last 2 days. He should be good to go. However, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, likely not going to make it. Eddie, as Dr. Risher said.
Yeah.
But Josh Blackwell, it's going to be tough. But
so many injuries, bro. That's what I'm saying. And then obviously,
but for me, it's like you got to win the turnover battle. Meaning, even if you have 0 and they have 1, that 1 turnover could swing a game, man. Especially if teams are going to be putting up points. If it's a close game, brings me to another interesting stat. The Broncos are 5-14 when within 7 points at the 2-minute warning since 2021. So if it's a close game, they
might win it.
5-14, man.
It's not good.
It's the worst NFL. Now, Russ, he can cook in those kind of scenarios, but it's not the same Russ that was in Seattle. And, he's kind of shown that. He's putting up a little bit more points here. Sean Payton's a good coach. So, but again, close game, keep it close, might have a chance. Also, limit the turnovers. And that kind of goes to that 2-minute drill, with Fields. If he has a chance to win a game here this week, obviously don't call a screen, within your own 5-yard line, 3 times in a row. That would help.
Yeah.
But prove, man. We've seen it, time and time again when he gets in these scenarios last year, especially, but we blamed it on the supporting cast. Now, I don't care what you say. Is it top 10 in the league as far as weapons? No, but it's a lot better, and he can get the job done. So it's going to be on the line to kind of, give him that time. But for me, key to the game here, I think almost every week, but is the turnover battle. You have to.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was going to say Fields has thrown an interception in every game. He's thrown an interception in every game and a pick six twice now.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to come out of this interception free and fumble free. That would be great.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great for his confidence. And that also would mean that, the O-line held up well, probably, or held up enough, or Fields was able to sense pressure and get out and just not make bad decisions. But I do want to we do have someone in here. The Ghost of Judah Tribe says it's Bajan time. He's going in talking about Fields. And let me tell you something, right? I'm just going to be honest. I like Bajan when he can do, but the offense is so bad that there's no way if you take out someone who's better than Bajan and you put Bajan in, he's gonna it's such a shit show. Bajan can, even Pat Mahomes would be in this and be like, "Yo, what's going on here?" Right? Obviously, he would still do Pat Mahomes things, but the offense is not functioning well. So taking out Fields and putting in someone who is less skilled than Fields will not make this offense run better. So that's my thing. I appreciate the comments and whatnot, but he is not better than Fields. That's why Fields went in the first round and Bajan went.
And I see it though. It's like, we don't know. There's a mystery. There's a mystique around him. He had a pretty good preseason. So there's that almost momentum that's kind of pushing him up there. And I get it as a fan. You're kind of, do we have a Kurt Warner? Do we have a Brock Purdy of our own here? But he is a D2 talent. Who knows what he's going to be? It's still early. I had I did actually write an article today on sportsmockery.com where I kind of talked about this, where you kind of nailed it when it comes to, benching Justin Fields for Tyson Bagent. For me,
we got a lot of Bajan fans in here. Sorry. We got a lot of Bajan fans.
Well,
Anyways, continue.
Hey, and that's fine. Here's the thing.
That's fine.
If he puts up 10 points again this week, Ficky, no matter if it's on Luke or the scheme, how can you not 10 points against a team that just got 70? It's going to be hard. And maybe the only reason he's not benched this week is because you play on Thursday night.
Yeah, it wouldn't be this week.
Washington.
Absolutely, it wouldn't be this week.
But considering all the other factors, like you said, that are affecting the quarterback, because there are a lot that are affecting Fields. Maybe it's not his receivers, but sometimes it is. And that's the issue here. It may not really matter who is under center this season.
That's
so even if Tyson, you throw him now, first of all, if he's not ready and he can't overcome, let's be honest, he's not a generational talent like a Andrew Luck, who was able to kind of put the Colts on his back consecutive seasons, make the playoffs. Kind of see with Trevor Lawrence time to time, even though the Jags are struggled, but even Caleb Williams, perhaps we don't know what he's going to be, but he almost has, as far as scouts go, he has that generational type hype and talent to almost overcome a situation like Chicago that, quarterbacks almost come to die in, So for me, Tyson Bagent, if he's not ready, which he's not, in my opinion, it's just going to hurt him in the long run as far as his development. He's going to be behind the same line. It's going to be the same scheme. So if you're going to fire anyone this week after the Broncos game,
the coaches
score 10, see it gets you. If you put up 10, he better be gone. He better not come.
Bro,
just pack.
That's what I'm saying.
Join Allen Williams. As far as
I'm not saying that Fields can't be the one to get out, but he's the scapegoat at this point. That's what Tim Jenkins said on his show, is that he's the scapegoat at this point. Like if you're going off of who gets removed first, it's head coach, OC, DC's already gone, then Fields. It doesn't mean Fields won't be on that list, but he's not the next one up. We got some other people that deserve way more blame. So we do have a super chat though here from Trashy for sure. Appreciate it. The comment's great. He got $2. He said, not much, but I'm broke. Well, from a fellow broke, we appreciate it. So,
dude, seriously. First of all, you don't have anyone that's in here. We appreciate everyone that, kind of is sends money. You don't have to. Just talking Bears is good enough for us, but we definitely appreciate it. It makes it, it makes us, it feels good, to be able to put out content consistently. It's something that we love to do, and we're going to keep doing it. It's going to be a long season, but like we said, we're going to be here, good or bad, every week.
We got a comment. Sorry. No.
What is
it
Uh,
this
said, come on, busting 6-24 as a starter. Aren't you tired of losing? No, because I'm a Bears fan. I've been a Bears fan for 30 years. If I was tired of losing, I would have picked a different team.
That's why everyone's like, hey, forget about 20. Why are you talking about 20? Why do you love 2018? So obviously, it's because when we don't have that a lot. That's why I cherish it. That's when I knew when it was happening. I was like,
oh, pockets.
Exactly.
06, 06, 0 and 18 are like your big ones. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I just love it. I love the banner going back and forth with the people. So
I love it. I love it too.
Keep the
Again,
comments coming.
one thing that if you want to help, if you can't send money, whatever, just hit the like button. If you're here right now, hit the like button. If you think the Bears are going to win this week, hit the like button. If you want to see Tyson Bagent next week, against Washington, hit that like button
and subscribe.
Subscribe.
If you're really for the Bagent train, hit the subscribe button for sure.
And I know you hear, if you watch a lot of YouTube, you're like, what does this mean? It really does help just as far as everything goes, pushing the content out there, and maybe even tell a friend if you do enjoy the pod that much. So let's get to our over and unders, and then we'll get to bold predictions and then our final prediction, Vicky.
Cool.
So I have a couple here. So first of all, how many times will they reference the Dolphins getting 70 points dropped on them? I'm sorry.
What's the line at?
The Broncos getting 70 points dropped them by the Broncos. So I have it set at 3.5.
Okay.
I'm talking highlights, references, and for me, it's like, what if the Bears are putting up more points?
So for
bring that up. So
for sure, you're going to get it at least twice in the first, because it's going to be immediately when they start the game around that. You know what I mean? When they're on defense, they're going to bring it up. And then the first time the Bears score, right? If they do, they're going to say it again. So there's easily two. The next one, right, to make my decision is do the Bears keep scoring? So if the Bears have a competitive game, then they're going to be the over. I think it'll easily hit that, right? Because that means you only need once more the next 2 quarters, right? So easily that can happen.
Yeah. Especially if Justin's having a breakout game.
Right. But if we're playing like dog shit, then I might take the under. But I'm expecting, at least the Bears fan of me, the hopeful, the cautionally optimistic.
It's back a little bit, man.
Yeah.
0-3, 0-3.
I know. I keep talking myself into it. I'm going to have to go over then. I think it'll be 4 times. 2 easily in the first quarter. They won't talk about it for a minute. And then the second half, you're going to get 2 spread out. What about you?
I'm not even going to elaborate on it. Perfect. Nailed it. That's exactly how I feel. Not even kidding. I don't know why I'm on the show. So total touchdowns for Justin Fields, I have it set at 2.
He gonna go over. I think it'll be. I have.
You gotta stop this. I'm feeling the same way.
Yeah, I got 3. That's it though. I'm going 2 passing, 1 rushing.
Hey, the optimism is back this week. For some, it's been a long 3 weeks. We have to get this out there. We have to push this out there. I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say 3. He's gonna have 3, whether it's on the ground or a mix. He's gonna get 3.
Gotcha. Before you go to the next one, though, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Continue your point. Sorry that you're done. Keep going.
No, that's it, man. I was just moving on to the next over under.
Well, we got from the Ghost of True to Tribe, gave us a super chat, said it's a civil war, #Team Bagent versus #Team Fields.
Oh,
Bustin sucks. All right. Well, in the comments, drop down what team you're on. Obviously, me and Dave are on Team Fields for now. Doesn't mean our opinion can't change. But we appreciate the $2 that goes to Judah Tribe, and everyone in the comments, let us know what side you're on in this civil war. So.
Yeah. And here's the thing. 10 games from now, when there's like 6 games remaining or whatever it might be, and if we're in the same spot, absolutely, you got to see, especially before the draft. If Caleb Williams, you got to see what Tyson is. Absolutely.
Well, actually, I might be like keep Fields in though, and so we can, if we're not doing anything with the men, you might as well keep him in so we can get that first pick. So I might still be Team Fields for a different reason.
So how many sacks will the Bears defense get against the Broncos? Obviously, we have one against Yannick. I set it at 1.5.
1.5.
That's what. Wow. I don't know. I was writing the notes, man, and it might be a typo. I had 1.5. So over
1.5. We have 1 right now in 3 games. There was a list that was out on Twitter where it showed players that there's like 53 players in the league or something like that. It was like a good amount. Obviously, a lot of players
They
have more than
sacks.
1 sack. More sacks than our team, bro. It's the same issue we had last year. So
Yeah.
1.5.
You said
no
it was going to be trash. You knew the
I
D line was
did.
going to be tough.
I
I'm going
did
over.
say that. That is.
I'm going over.
I've been with you on everything, but that's crazy.
I'm going over.
Can't.
Denver. Russ has been sacked 10 times on the season.
Okay.
The Fields has been sacked 13. Okay. Their O-line. Russ is not as mobile. So here's the thing. I think they're going to send some more blitzes. They have to. It hasn't been working. You don't have a guy that can just get home on his own consistently. So for me, I think Yannick's going to wrap the quarterback up. I think he's going to get one and maybe help on another. So I'm going to go 2 sacks, which is
okay.
That would be crazy.
It's not that big of a number, to be honest. Like to say like 2 sacks, to be like, whoa, but yeah.
But like I said, I'm feeling very positive, man. You're at home, which means nothing, I guess, because I thought that would mean something in Chicago against the Pack. But
no, it doesn't. But no, here's my
thing.
But
for my psyche, I'm going to say it does.
You made a good point, though. So if it's based off what we've seen so far, then it's an under, because we haven't seen any blitzes. Like, really, we haven't seen that many blitzes or exotic, type of creative plays, right? When it comes to the defensive end. But I think Flus talked about that this week in his presser, that like he's going to have to start doing that. So if we do see that, I agree. I think we'll get something, because not only we haven't been doing it, so there will be that like surprise to it that we may get lucky and get that extra sack or something. So if that's the case, I would agree with you on the over.
Remember,
but if we
Yannick Ngakoue, he was close to having 2 by himself against Tampa.
Just wrap up. And I'm not even mad at him.
He's playing Baker Vic or something out there, But
yeah, facts. I'm not even mad at him, though, because it's just him out there. No one else is literally doing anything.
Yeah.
So
Baker did look great, which was crazy. So before we get to the last couple over and unders, Broncos injury report heading into Thursday. Jerry Jeudy, limited. Safety Justin Simmons, limited with a hip. Jerry Jeudy was a knee. Defensive tackle Mike Purcell, ribs. He did not practice. Inside linebacker Josie Joel, might be butchering that. He did not practice with a hip injury. And then outside linebacker Frank Clark, hip, did not practice. So even the Broncos are even banged up even more.
More than us.
Who knows? Yeah, it definitely feels like they're
it's set up for that week. We should win.
We're due.
We're due, bro. It's been a year. It's been so long.
13
games, bro.
I had a joke I had a joke in my article here, which was funny. That I was writing again. You can find out sportsmockery.com. But I was like, what if the Bears break their 13-game losing streak, but with a tie?
No, that's not a break.
That breaks it, right?
Don't put it out there.
But does that technically break it? Like you tie this team, you're like,
it breaks my soul. That's what it breaks. It breaks my soul. That's the only thing it breaks.
That's funny.
Jeez, bro,
that would be such a Bears move, bro, to 13 games in a row and you break it by a tie.
You know what? If it's like 50-50, if it's 50-50 or something like that, I wouldn't be as mad.
That's a win.
Yeah. I wouldn't be as mad.
Anyways, okay.
That's the only case. It can't be 3-3 or I will break my TV. How about that?
So how many sacks will the Broncos defense get? I said it at 1.5. They have 4 on the season.
I think they'll get 2. Yeah. There's one game. Was it the Packers where we gave up a good amount? But no, even last week, how many did we give up? No, it was week 2. We gave up a good amount. And last week we didn't give up that many. So yeah, at the rate of how many we've been giving up, 13 over 3 weeks, which is technically 4.25 a week or like 4.33 a week. So I'm going to have to say, if that's the case, it's got to be over. So even if they go under expectation and cut that in half and they only give up 2 sacks, that's more than 1.5. So yeah, I'm going to go over on that.
Okay. So you went over on the sacks. How many are you giving them?
2. I'm gonna say 2 to 3. So let's go 2.
Okay. It's interesting. I want to bring up a stat here from PFF, but I'm gonna go over as well. And my reasoning, let me see here. So let me see what I have here. So it was a PFF grade that I found very, very interesting. Of course, I can't find it. Allowed pressure. So this is interesting. So when it comes to Justin Fields, and QB's own pressures allowed. So on pressures that are simply on the quarterback is what it's like equal to. And then there's some dropbacks that have, some of the responsibility is just on the O-line. And then, of course, some, the quarterback kind of makes. And Justin kind of does that by holding the ball. And I saw that firsthand live against the Chiefs. So right now, as far as, own pressures, right now in the league, it goes number 1, 50 pressures on his own created was Kenny Pickett. Number 2 is Daniel Jones at 48. And then Justin Fields was at 45. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading that wrong. He was at 10 pressures created.
So he's
way off. Well, in the league, it's pretty high. So like Patrick Mahomes, give you a little bit. He's at 4. He's responsible
10 is a high amount.
For. Yeah, I was reading dropbacks, which I thought that was pretty damn high.
But still, I mean, it's not like it's super crazy. I actually believed when you said 45 because I'm like, that would make sense. It seems like every play.
But no, it's actually way better. That would have been crazy. So he's responsibility wise, so as far as all the pressures, as far as all the dropbacks or as far as the pressures created in these 3 games, Justin Fields is responsible for 22.2% of those pressures. The other 77.8% is strictly on the offensive line. So again, that may seem high. Let me go ahead and go through. So number 2, the highest one right now is Anthony Richardson at 33.3. Guess who's number 3? Russell Wilson, 28.6%. So that's what I'm seeing as far as going over. Maybe this is the game where the defense probably going to be their best opportunity here.
It's definitely the best opportunity so far.
So
absolutely.
Jalen Hurts. This is another thing. Jalen Hurts is 4th. He's at 26.1%. Sam Howell, who we play on Thursday night, is 23.8%. And then you have Justin Fields at 6, 22.2. Jordan Love, 20%. Dak Prescott, 19. Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, all at 19. So again, some of the best players. Look at this. Brock Purdy, 3.1 or 3.3%.
Scheme, bro. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying.
It's scheme,
and the talent, offensive line.
Oh, they got talent. The team's the most talented in the league. If you take away the quarterback. So yeah, absolutely. But
CJ Stroud, 12.8%.
He balling. He balling now, bro.
And I will go to my grave saying, I know it was going to be easy to be like, what were the Bears thinking? You had to give Justin a chance. You had to.
Absolutely. No, they made the right move.
I'm just happy for him, though. Absolutely happy for CJ.
And guess what? It's still a long season, so Fields can bounce back if he needs to.
Yeah. All right. Well, so another one, more optimistic. DJ Moore, over under 65 receiving yards.
Over.
Love it. Me too. This was fun. 3 and outs for the Bears on offense. Have it at 5.5.
I'm going under.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that we'll be moving the ball down, because what happens is we've had a lot where it's not necessarily a 3 and out, but it's a 6 and out.
Maybe I had
so it's like, we get a play, we get a first down, right? We get the first down, and then we 3 and out. So it's not technically a 3 and out, but I look at that and I go, oh, we got 12 yards that drive. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's garbage. So how many drives are going to be good? I don't know, but
if it goes over, holy shit, we're in for a long ass day. So I'm going to go under 2 just for, good graces, but I really do think they're going to move the ball. I think they're going to at least get a few first downs before they kind of either have to punt or maybe settle for a field goal. Ficky, let's finish up here. We'll bold predictions, 2 each. I'm going to start. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to go DJ Moore. I'm going to stick with him. I know I said receiving yards. I'm going to say this right here. You're playing Denver, you're playing a team that just got dropped, blah, blah, 70 on you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going over 100 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
I was about to say, you're about to put 2 up.
2 touchdowns. All right. He's matching his jersey number. I'm telling you, this is the DJ Moore breakout game. Maybe Justin too. I would expect that, if he's throwing them the ball. So I'm going to go DJ Moore. This is his get right game to kind of make up for these, especially these last, he actually played okay as far as, getting yards, but just to really, make you feel a little bit better about, getting that, trading that first overall pick for him and everything like that. So that's my first bold prediction. What are you going with for your first one?
All right, is this thing on? Let me make sure. Here's my bold prediction. Justin Fields gets his first 300-yard passing game. This week is the perfect opportunity for that to happen. You are never going to play a worse defense other than what you do in practice, because that defense is garbage.
His closest
then now. This is it.
His closest time of getting 300 was actually against that Pittsburgh defense that was pretty damn good, where he had 291 that we talked about earlier. Yep. I love that one. And
it ties in perfectly with yours.
Though, but if he gets it, it's like people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's the Broncos. They just gave up 70."
Absolutely, I don't care.
I like Will Wright.
Yeah. Will Wright said Jay Fields 330 yards, 3 tutties, passing and 1 rush, so 4 touchdowns in total. That'd be a crazy game.
Oh my god!
I hope you're right. No pun intended.
But absolutely.
Yeah, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. So I don't care what the media said. Bro, absolutely. He got 300 yards.
Justin, he needs that confidence, man. Like you could say, he's not broken, he's not defeated, but it's like, come on now. How good would that be for him?
I'm sorry. I got to post it with the ghost of Judah Trice and the BFR podcast. Delusional. Bro, Bears fans.
And these are bold predictions.
Bold, bro. This is what we do. So,
you can't hold bold predictions against somebody.
Yeah, come on now. And if it happens, I'm coming right back for you, Ghost of Judah. We're finding you. We're finding you.
All right. So my final bold prediction here is the Bears will score over 35 points.
Okay.
That's it. 35. It could be 30. It could be 40. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I really do, just because the Broncos defense is pretty bad, pretty banged up too, pretty brutal. So I'm gonna go 35 plus. It's gonna be a shootout. Hopefully, I would love a shootout. I don't even care if I'm not gonna say that. I care if we lose, but I would like to win this. I really would. But I think they're gonna score over 35 points. That would be awesome. Chicago needs it. And I think that's pretty bold. So I'll go with that one. What's your final?
Man, this might be the boldest week I've had with that last one and this one that's coming up next. Because of how I viewed this defensive line. They somehow, some way, triple the amount of sacks they have. They come out of this game with 3 sacks or more.
They're gonna have to blitz if that's the case. There's no way.
Oh yeah, I don't care who did. Something's causing it. We don't need to go into the details of that. And I don't know how, but something is happening to where we don't have just 1 sack anymore. So those are my bold predictions. Probably the boldest. I normally don't go that far left field, but
this is gonna be the greatest game in a very long time.
Bro, it's because we don't play. We're normally, this is how people view us when they play us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to feast at the
If the Broncos didn't get 70 dropped on them, I would not be this optimistic. And again, we don't have Miami's, we don't have Tua. Honestly, he's so accurate, so good. We don't have Tyreek.
That was their defense too. They forced so many turnovers. They forced 3 fumbles, bro. So, and some interceptions. So they just destroyed them. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't get 70 dropped on us, but
let's move forward. Final score predictions. You start.
0-7. No, I'm just kidding. So all that talk about how great, some of those bold predictions, right? But I still think it's a close one. And I'm gonna go 38-35 nail biter, which shouldn't be one, and we sneak away with the W.
Hey,
that's where I'm at.
I'm pretty close. I said over 35, so I'm gonna go 42. 42. We're dropping 42.
Damn, that's a bold prediction in itself.
Oh, I'm sorry. 41. We're dropping 41. I forgot my math's wrong, so I'm going. 5 touchdowns.
42 would be right.
2 field goals.
Yeah. There we go.
I'm not going. Okay. I'm going 2 field goals. We got to settle a little bit here, but we can't get too ambitious. I'm going 41. Kind of right the ship with KC kind of dropping 41 on us. I'm going 41-38, close ass game. And we win. I don't even think we cover too. So there we go. Gonna be a good week. Good vibes. Gonna be bouncing back. Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Bold prediction from Axe here says Taylor Swift gets an interception before the Bears do. You probably at this rate you might be right. So sorry, I just want to read some of these last ones. I guess there's an update too. Ghost to Judah said one cool thing: Jordan Love actually sucks. So it seems like obviously we're live right now, so we don't know what's going on with that game, but it seems like he may not be playing that great. So there's that. And then Hack said, so we are smoking tonight. No, what's worse is that we're both sober with these ridiculous takes. That makes it even worse. So, but yeah, we're just out here having fun. So, and then we got some
I love it.
Hack said 24-21. So yeah, it should be good. I'll say if we walk away from this game and it's not at least entertaining, like it has to be. There's got to be some scores and some turnovers. There's got to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This can't be what it was last week, just because the level of competition is not that. So hopefully our post game is a little bit happier than what it was this last time.
Little update.
Which will
Lions at halftime up 27-3. Jared Goff 160 yards, touchdown, interception. Jordan Love 50 yards at the half, 6 for 13, 2 picks, 4 sacks. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's bad. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? Like, yeah, facts. Jared Goff's like first play he threw. That's the only thing I saw. Like, it's right when we were starting. His first play was literally like an interception. So I was like, oh wow, Packers got this in the bag. Like, what a start! Yeah, here we go. And then seeing that, but yeah. Okay. Oh, we got a Lions fan in here tonight. Don Burr. We had some Broncos fans in here too. He said, "That's right, 27-3." Hey, you know what? I'm not even gonna be mad. I'm not even gonna be mad at Lions friends. I got a Lions friend. Like, y'all been waiting so long too. So like, there's empathy for that. I understand. So go ahead and flex. You know what I mean? Maybe this is your 2018 year. You should be happy about that. So.
Oh, man. I love it. Hey, let's finish up. Final thing here, Ficky. Biggest storyline after the game. 3-4 words. What it's going to be.
Fields is back. That's what I
got. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to go one word. Ready? Finally.
That's win. Let's
finally.
That's better than mine. Finally,
no, I like yours, but it's just your big words on the paper. Just finally,
bro. Because maybe so you forget how long it's been.
Something like it's not raining there. I don't think it's gonna be raining so he's not sliding. But just something. Just relief, just for the team.
Wait, was that the last? That wasn't the last win because that was week
last win was New England.
That's right. Okay.
New England.
Yeah. So I was at the San Francisco one. I was like, I was at the last win. That's crazy. No, that's not right. But still, it's been so long. So finally is exactly it. Actually, I might just tweet if that happens. That's what I'm just putting finally. Period. That's beautiful. So we did one just a question. This was one of the questions we had for the show, and then we'll go out after this. But the Ghost of Judah Tribe did ask David Ficky, how many 300-yard games does Bustin have in his career? How many just Stroud have? After this week, it's going to be 1-1. So let's go. Let's go.
Hey, CJ looks really damn good, man. Good for him.
He does.
Coaching. I'm a big fan. Coaching, but it's Houston, which is crazy. Good turnaround for, that franchise, because just a couple years ago, it was the laughing stock, and now the Bears are heading that direction. So I love it. Ficky, anything else before we go?
Man, I'm ready for this game, bro. I'm ready for this game.
Yeah. Me too. Again, thank you for everyone, all the people in the chat, keeping it lively. We're gonna go finish up, watch the Lions kind of hopefully smoke Green Bay, finish that off, and
absolutely,
and then hopefully we'll be recapping this thing on Sunday after the game, in good spirits and finally getting a win, a dub.
Yeah, we'll be here. Again, win or loss, we'll be here post game. We'll see you all there.
You can follow Ficky again at It's Ficky Baby on all socials. You can follow me at Dave_BFR on all socials as well. Check out my work, sportsmockery.com. We're going to be back, and we'll be talking about a win. We're putting it out there, and we appreciate everyone that's tuned in. It's been a fun, obviously difficult ride, but we're going to be here. Keep saying it. If you can leave a like, tell a friend about the pod. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Peace.